IP Expo is one of the UK's most successful technology events. It showcases the IT and communications products and services that all organisations need now to prosper. But what does it tell us about the contribution that this technology makes to the UK's economy and indeed to the UK's national security? We're here at IP Expo 2011 to find out.
Cost savings is always an issue for IT. They're always being asked to do more with less. I think that was true 15 years ago and it's true today. When there are economic downturns, I think it becomes even more important.
What we're seeing in the general IT climate is a tightening of budgets, and the result of that tightening of budgets is that people are beginning to start to take a look and say, I want to go do some innovation projects. Where am I going to go find the money to allow me to do it within my current spending envelope? And so what they do is look at technologies such as WAN optimization to provide those savings out of my operational expense.
The single biggest question around cost savings is usually around bandwidth. So for example, again, you have a WAN link at full capacity, and your option is to either go to BT and upgrade that WAN link, which could cost tens or hundreds of thousands of pounds per year, or you have a device that potentially you can deploy for significantly less and get that same bandwidth savings. So that ROI could be a few months, it could be almost a year, but still the ROI is very tangible.
30 years ago, we were looking at ROIs in the 3 to 4 years. 5 years ago, we were looking at ROI in the 2 to 3 year, and today we're looking at sub 1 year return on investments for typical capital spends.
Again, if you can make a very tangible ROI or business case that this is needed for an initiative or this can save me X amount of dollars, it's usually not that difficult to find budget to approve or to spend that. It almost pays for itself.
Look, I think that the economic benefits of cloud are quite clear, and I think it's also, well, it's first, if boil down what actually we talk about when we talk about cloud. For me, it's simply the delivery of IT, which traditionally has been delivered as a product, as a service.
There are a number of innovative ideas that could have made genuine differences to the pharmaceutical industry, to the automotive industry, and to other industries that now have access to the type of compute power needed to bring these innovative products to market, and that in itself will enable the UK to export its expertise over the coming years.
I think there's more to cloud than simply chargeback. I mean, if you look at an enterprise infrastructure, they have a certain cost, and chargeback talks about distributing that cost. If you go to an outsourcer, then you take that cost, they then have to charge a premium on top of what it would have cost you. The real benefit there of cloud, I think, is in multi-tenancy and economies of scale.
So we believe that pharmaceutical as an industry obviously delivers significant value both to the health and well-being of individuals but also to the global economy. And we believe that by providing access to an on-demand infrastructure for high-performance computing, we will open the gates for innovation to enable some organisations that previously didn't have access to the type of compute power to innovate. They will suddenly be able to bring their innovations to market and make a genuine difference both in the health and technology space.
What is probably new is is basically the use of data mining in the corporate space. It's not completely brand new. Companies have been doing it for a little while, but I think we couldn't really go out to the market today and say there's a packaged product that will give me the answer to the question of what are the 5 biggest factors that affect my profitability.
When data is stolen, the impact financially on a company is, if the outside world lose faith in a company's ability to store data or to use that data, if people move away from obviously using that business, then their sales are going to go down, and people just aren't going to feel comfortable.
Data mining is a science in the sense that it's been around a long time. It's very well understood. There's a tremendous amount of literature, scientific literature on data mining. I actually did a fair amount of study myself academically on data mining, and I can say that it's something you could spend years on.
I do think the UK is taking a lead in terms of being one of the early adopters of cloud. I also deal with other countries in mainland Europe, and there tends to be a lot more of a traditional approach and a fair bit of resistance depending on the country. Whereas I'm finding the UK is a lot more interested in embracing the new technology.
One of the questions that people ask all the time is, what kind of benefit am I actually going to get? What is the return on investment? And I think it's a bit early days at this point to give an exact figure, but I know that some of the consultancies I've dealt with, the analysts, are coming back and saying it's a figure of about, let's say, 40 to 60%. So quite significant improvement in profitability from extracting data on customer behaviors. So just if we knew that one piece alone, it would provide not a trifling improvement, quite a significant improvement in profitability.
In the same way that companies obviously lose business and lose customer faith, I think the UK's economy is the same. People, when they invest in the UK, they expect a level of security. They expect the data that they store, in the UK servers. They expect that to be safe. And I think once that's lost, once that sort of faith is lost in the UK, people will move to other countries. People will move their investments, to places where it is safe or where they believe it to be safe.